Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Sunday to you and your family. We're looking at XRP, of course, once more. Kind of looking at this trend line that we had that broke recently, as well as, of course, those 3 black crows followed by a 4th green day. Kind of standard pattern behavior, if you will. And we'll also take a peek over at Super Trend and, of course, our Elliott wave there and kind of see what potential we have for this coin. All right, so if you're new to the channel, just ask. Quick favor, if you could make sure, of course, like, subscribe, the whole 9 yards here on YouTube. Greatly appreciate that, so you can stay abreast on everything. But also, please come check out our Twitter. We're actually trying to grow this here. We've got really awesome giveaways here too with the private signals there for our BitGet. If you were to register with BitGet, you kind of get a benefit there. Kind of try out the signals and everything else for a free month. So really cool stuff there. Be sure to check that out. And of course, appreciate anything you can do to help us continue to grow and get on the map, because the YouTube algorithm can kind of be a capital B. And it's not the greatest thing sometimes. A lot of times good content can kind of get swept under the rug. So appreciate you find benefit. Please let me know, and obviously do your due diligence. Thank you so much for that. So with XRP, what we want to look at is a few things, right? Well, obviously the stuff I addressed already, we'll dive into that in a moment. But the first thing I always look at is typically the RSI on the daily and of course the 4-hour. We can see here pretty clear as day we've dropped below 50 on the RSI. Bitcoin has the same thing going for itself right now too, which is not a great sign. It really just implies that we're underneath a specific resistance level. Now for this here, we could update our fibs and kind of see what that looks like, but I like the larger time frames for Fibonacci retracement levels. We can see 0.382, 49 cents is probably right at that level of a resistance, okay? And once again, easy to see because it was a previous support level for some time. Now it's flipped resistance. So we can expect that to be an occurrence if we get back up there. Furthermore, we can also see the MACD is diverging even further. You didn't think that it would go further, but it can. All right, so keep in mind we could go lower. A little premature here to kind of address whichever direction you think it might go based on that one thing, but it does tell us that we are in position where the 50-day SMA is holding as potential support. So we've kind of got some conflicting information here. In other words, you have good, bad, and indifferent scenarios. Okay, so when you get these conflicting signs, sometimes it's best not to take a swing trade based on a long-term movement, right? Now again, dollar cost average, if you'd like, we can address dollar cost average targets here as well. I mean, pretty obvious right there at about 40 cents would be the next best target to shoot for outside of 44. But besides that, we want to take a look at potential here too. And if we take a look at Elliott wave, we can see there is potential for a fifth uptrend, or sorry, a third uptrend, basically to fulfill that 5. And what this is basically, if you're not familiar with it, Elliott wave just kind of establishes higher highs and higher lows. And it always goes in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern. Okay, so the 5th pattern really just implies that we're going to probably see a price point in the range of about 60 to 65 cents. Okay, that's if this happens, right? That's if Bitcoin stabilizes, continues to go sideways or up from here. We lose 27K. Don't even think that you completely disregard this. Okay, but best case scenario, we're looking at that for XRP. More realistically, I feel like we're probably going to go down a little further based on the fact that I feel like Bitcoin's probably going to retrace a little bit further. It just kind of seems more sensible that it will do that. A lot of reasons for it. Watch my Bitcoin video if you want to know why. I dive deep into the back-end data stuff as well. So that being said, that's kind of where we're at here on the daily for Elliott wave. Quickly to note as well for super trend, this is also a bearish sign. We are lower and below that level. In other words, what that basically means is average true range, or sorry, the super trend takes average true range of the last X amount of days of trading and tells us that we're above or below that resistance or support level. Right now, this recent uptrend for XRP has come to an end and we're starting our downtrend. Now again, these downtrends don't necessarily have to last very long. It's not saying the price is going to drop because of it, but it does imply that we're on the wrong side of the tracks there and we're working against a resistance versus a support. We already know that. We've identified that with the other factors initially in this video. So let's take a quick look at some other things as well. And this is actually really cool to see. It doesn't always happen this way, of course, but it's nice to celebrate this. I actually sent out a tweet a couple days ago saying that the price is going to come up and come down. And what do you know, it did exactly that. But keep this in mind, it wasn't just like amazing foretelling scenario. It was simply just putting a situation, 2 and 2 together, that Bitcoin's going to reject out at a certain level. We shorted Bitcoin, took some profit, and that's where we're at now here. Okay. In fact, what I probably want to do is I'll show you that a little later, the profits we took there. But it was really cool to be able to kind of get in for just a good 2 or 3 hours and get like 40 to 60% off Bitcoin and Ethereum. Didn't short XRP at the time. Hindsight, I wish I had. But once again, that's kind of where we're at here for the 4-hour. Let's quickly summarize too. We're below 50 on the RSI, notoriously a resistance level. Essentially above 50, which is, above 30, which is nice, but we're still in a position right now where we're bearish on the RSI. Okay, we're also starting to lose this upwards momentum and have potential to diverge as well. Now, again, emphasis on potential. It doesn't mean it's going to drop like a rock. It just implies that if we don't establish a higher low here in this trend, then we're going to be in pretty bad shape. We're going to see lower lows, probably even hit that 47 mark. Okay, again, worst comes to worst, that's what we're seeing. Moving forward with the 1 hour, what I want to identify here is just to quickly note the TD sequential. First of all, we are probably overextended to the downside, which we are. A lot of coins are at a 9 right now to the downside. And it just really implies that we should see some type of brief recovery. Okay, so a small relief recovery would make sense here considering we're overextended. I'm curious actually really quick to double check, see what Bitcoin does. Bitcoin's not exhibiting the same behavior. So you can see that kind of that dramatic effect that altcoins are having right now, kind of 2x of Bitcoin's retracement. Okay, because Bitcoin isn't behaving poorly or sporadically right now. It's just kind of not doing much. A lot of altcoins are bleeding out right now, and Bitcoin dominance is staying the same. It tells us a lot of money is flowing out of the market, and that extra profits being taken from the altcoins could come back into Bitcoin and shoot the price up tomorrow. That could happen. But statistically, Bitcoin looks like it's bleeding out and it's going to continue lower, and XRP also is exuding the same behavior. We take a look at the Ichimoku cloud. We never truly broke above the cloud, and this to me is a confirmational sign that we do not want to take a long position until we get a concrete close above 46 cents or higher. Okay, so at this point, lagging span is within the price action, conversion lines below baseline. There's almost 3 green lights to open a short trade. Only reason I'm holding off is because we want to wait for Bitcoin to confirm up or down right now, and it's one of those interesting things where you want to be cautious and careful because altcoins are knee-jerk reactioning to the price action of Bitcoin. In other words, Bitcoin corrects by 1%, we'll see a 2% correction from XRP. Bitcoin goes up by 0.5%, a lot of altcoins are staying the same and stuck on stupid. It's just kind of the way that things are right now. And it's very temporary. It's not going to be permanent. But when you're testing a key level support for Bitcoin and we're on the edge of disaster or just amazing support levels, it's going to have that kind of ripple. No pun intended, but actually also kind of worked out. So again, with XRP ripple, we can see that we are also seeing that type of effect. Okay. So long story short here, I don't have a tremendous amount of faith in XRP shooting to the moon right now, nor do I have a consideration to take a short position, but it does feel the way that things are going right now and the fact that we're kind of consolidating at this previous resistance, we're right on the edge of potential disaster and or a massive consolidation. So I'm hoping the price goes sideways for some time, but if Bitcoin retests 27,000 once more, I think it might be good consideration a short XRP moving forward down to the 40 to 42 cent range. All right, I'll send out an update here on Twitter, of course, here soon with the the chart update based on my anticipation of which direction it might potentially go, and I hope that you can kind of help us grow our Twitter community. And obviously, you want to become part of something bigger. Consider using this registration link here through BitGet, because at the end of this month, that will be no longer an option, and it's important between now and then to try to benefit as much as you can. Phenomenal exchange, my best exchange ever, and I can assure you that it's worth your while to check it out. Thanks so much for joining me here. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one.